Howdy fellas, I hope you're well where you're at and staying warm, and I hope your new year is off to a good start. I was reading a comment on one of my videos from a subscriber about a problem he had with his inline muzzleloader. Now, let me preface this with saying I'm the wrong person to ask a lot of questions about inline because I don't have them. I don't care for them, but the principle between those and traditional muzzleloaders is pretty much the same. And what he said, he went to the range the other day and he was using boar butter to lube his patches. And he did that and the gun wouldn't fire. He didn't say what kind of powder he was using and whatnot. And then I kind of gathered from a comment he replied back after I replied to him, is that he may have used that boar butter to put down his bore after he cleaned it the last time to make sure he didn't get any rust. And I feel like he didn't say, but I bet you $1 to a donut he did not run a patch down that bore before he poured the powder down, and he probably fouled his charge. He said it didn't go off. He didn't say how he got it out. He probably took his breech plug out and pushed it out most likely. But here's the thing you want to remember. If you do use something like that, or ballistol, whatever, to put down your bore to keep it from rusting in between uses, make sure you always run if nothing else, take a little patch and put some alcohol on it, which will evaporate real quick. Or at least a dry patch, and run down that muzzle and clean anything out that's in there so you don't foul your charge. Now, if you're going to long-term load, be careful with liquid lubes, like Mr. Flintlock, or back when you used to get Lehigh Valley Patch Lube, which is a liquid. You can actually, if you don't shoot that pretty quick, that will get your powder charge wet. It'll either won't fire, it'll hang fire real bad. And even if you do use a grease type lube like boar butter, which I used to use it, but I found out I'm not that crazy about it at all through the years. Don't overdo it, because if you do put that down your bore and you leave that for any period of time, they can actually get in there and foul that charge. What I've used most recently is a product I get from Tracking the Wolf. It's called Trapper's Mink Oil. It's pretty much just a grease type substance, kind of a, I don't know, a cross between beeswax and beeswax mixed with something. Well, I can't get the lid off of it, but trust me. They just use enough on that to get your patch good and soaked. Another thing you can do is you can take ballistol or Murphy's oil, soap, and water for that matter. Make you up about 4 parts water to 1 part of the ballistol or Murphy's patch lube, and soak your patches. Matter of fact, I've got some here that I've cut that I'll use. They're like 1 1/4 inch, 1.5 inches wide. You would take those and put that down in your solution, let them get real good and wet, and take them out and either hang them up. I've had some people say that hanging them up and just let it all run down on one end. But an oil or an oily type substance like ballistol is probably going to adhere. But if you feel better about it, get you something like the drying racks, or that you use to put bacon or whatever on to let it drain. Lay it across that and let it drain. But you can use that type because when it dries, it's a dry lubricant, more or less. But be careful how much you use when you use greasy or wet type patch lubes. That'll keep you from having as many problems. Another thing I wanted to show, my buddy Tommy down in Mississippi, in honor of a certain little brown and white puppy dog named Jake, built this beautiful leather sheath. It's actually got a piece of a snake skin that came from his yard around the top. It's embossed with a real pretty design. I hope you can see that. And on the back, right here on the belt loop, it says, "In memory of Jake, Mr. Buzzsaw himself." That's really a nice gift from Tommy, and I appreciate it very much. He was a big fan of Jake's, and he misses him like I do. You know, I've been meaning to show that, and I just let it slip my mind. Tommy, just not that I don't appreciate it. You know I do. I've told you that. But it's very special, and I'm glad to have it. It actually fits a knife that I have somewhere. What I do with it. Yeah, it's a 6-inch Green River butcher knife, which I won't go into detail on that. There's a little story behind that, but I won't divulge that. But anyway, I hope you're having a good week, and I hope everything's going well with you. I certainly appreciate you watching. God bless you all. Keep your powder dry. Mind your top knot tools.